Hello and welcome everyone to the Dating Without Nipples podcast, where we go topless and reveal our heart's truest desires, our insecurities, vulnerabilities, and the tools that we use to navigate and overcome so that we can show up for our bravest, most courageous, rebellious, exhibitionist style lives. I'm so excited to have with me today Amalia Thomas. Amalia is a mama finding her way in this uncharted territory, navigating infertility, moving, running a business, and advocating for herself and her family while discovering more of who she is and stepping fully into her power. Amalia is currently calling in her global sisterhood of women, coming together to lift each other up, raise the vibration, and bring hope and healing to the world. Her passion is helping women discover natural solutions through the use of essential oils, reminding them we do not have to do this alone. Amalia supports mamas to make sure they have the tools to navigate this wild journey of motherhood, equipping them with tools to support themselves mentally, physically, and emotionally. It is Amalia's deepest honor to connect with soulful women who feel like home. Amalia, thank you so much for joining us in this conversation today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Absolutely. I am feeling so much wisdom and warmth in your feminine energy. And I know that you've been empowered by many women and sisterhood in your life, which is, I'm sure, what has ignited your mission to pass on the love and empowerment. Can you share with us a little bit some of your experiences with other empowering women or in sisterhood and why this is so important to you now?
Yeah. So probably, I want to say 5 years ago, I got to take a meditation class, which I'd always wanted to learn how to do. And I met one of my incredible mentors, Kara, who was also a mentor of yours. And we did this meditation class. And then after it was over, it was like an 8-week series. And she was like, I just feel like we can't stop. And all of us were like, no, we can't. Like, we have to, this has to continue. And so from that, the sisterhood was born. It was called the Expanding Heart Sisterhood. And so it was at a time where I was in a big transition. I was moving away from Hawaii and moving back home to Colorado. And so I joined the sisterhood, and up until that point, I hadn't really had relationships with women that were like the sisterhood where women came together in circle. We just held space for each other to be completely vulnerable and open, to like let everything out on the table. And immediately joining the sisterhood, I felt this freedom that I could do that where I had never felt before. I've had many girlfriends. I always tended to kind of hang out with the boys for some reason growing up. I mean, they were really cute, but but also, I gravitated towards that. So I kind of lived in more of a masculine energy for most of my life. And I didn't really know how to tap into that feminine. But when I joined that group, I witnessed all these other women just showing up and also them receiving me and the whole group. It was like, I get goosebumps just thinking about it, because it changed my whole vision of like what it is to be a woman. And let's see, I'll be 35 next month. So I think I was 30, also a transition period. And to be 30 and finally stepping into myself as a woman, it's been a really interesting journey. And so from that, and I think I was in it for 3 years. I think I did at least 3 or 4 years of sisterhood with this group. And then I had my daughter. And so I had to step out for a little bit. And now joining your sisterhood, I'm so happy to do that, because I feel like oftentimes in the world, we don't have these spaces where we can just show up completely and fully and just, show up in our messiness or show up in our goddess or whatever it is, but just show up exactly how we are and have people witness us like that. And so from that, I have this vision in my head of this global sisterhood of just like wherever I go, I want to incorporate that sisterhood. And I want women to know that these things exist. I think of us, a lot of us don't even know that there are spaces like this where you can show up, and it gives you such freedom to be able to work through whatever it is that's going on, because you know that you're safe and you're seen, and nothing matters. It's all about just being there and being supportive. And I think from that first sisterhood, I realized, holy shit, women are so powerful. Oh my gosh. And so I was just like, wow, we're incredible. And so from that, it's just like sparked this dream and this journey of mine to just continue to spread that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I heard you say freedom a couple of times, and the freedom to be ourselves completely, to be witnessed, to be in a group that is structured enough to where there are, I would say, maybe agreements of intention, and the intention being freedom and kind of being anything. I would say maybe nothing is off limits for celebration, right? I'm a mess today. Yes, that's fantastic. You're so beautiful in your mess. I'm angry today. I'm cranky. I'm jealous. I'm envious. I'm in a story of broke. I feel inadequate. Yes, that's so good. So beautiful, right? I was in Sisterhood when I was diagnosed with the breast cancer. And that was the group that I went to, and nobody saw me as a victim. They all saw me as, wow, what a gift you've been given, and what an incredible gift you're going to be as you move through this and then share it with the world. So in a sense, Sisterhood was the birthplace of everything that I'm doing now. And it really is such a fantastic gift. It was interesting to me that you touched a little bit on what relationships with women were before, and why I think sometimes we have a preference to hang out in masculine energy. There are what we now have a term for, which sometimes we call sisterhood wounds, but it really just is those earlier life experiences, or maybe all the way up until right now for a lot of people, experiences with other women where the relationship is tainted with competition, with jealousy, with cattiness, scarcity, gossip. I know is a real deteriorator of female relationships. Were there, I could name a few myself certainly, were there experiences specifically early on that made you feel unsafe around women, or feel like women didn't have the power to be who they really are?
Oh, I don't recall specific situations, but I'm super empathic. And so I think that I just felt that. And just by witnessing what was happening in relationships around me, I think that kind of shaped my view on relationships with women. And then also, I really hate conflict, and I really hate making anybody feel bad or upset or anything. So I was always like in this kind of like pleasing people. So it was like in relationships with other females, it was like, oh, you want to talk, you want to talk about your husband or whatever, or, that girl, or it was like, well, I would always be the one who was listening to people's whatever they wanted to say. And of course, sometimes I would join in, but usually I wouldn't speak up to say how I really felt, because I feared that it would cause conflict, or like it would make the other person feel not validated, or make me not likable or something, And so I found that in a lot of my personal relationships with women, it was me just being a good listener, and just not being able to speak my truth.
Mm-hmm. People pleasing and avoiding conflict. And we do sometimes, as women, have an unspoken agreement to be in agreement, and to not call each other out on things, and to not place any indication of blame or judgment or anything that says, I'm not comfortable right now, I need to create a boundary right now. I think that's part of sisterhood in terms of the intentions and the structure that I mentioned, is there is accountability in the sense that we each see each other as our own highest and best. And so there is an assumption that you have got this and you don't need me. It is my honor and my privilege to get to witness you in your processing. And we learn to become better listeners. And then it opens up that spaciousness for people to start to feel safe and to start to share on their own. And then the vulnerability and the connection happens all on its own. It really is a beautiful thing. So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking that I think that that's part of what I really love about sisterhood, is that I get to speak my voice. Like, I get to still be a good listener and be supportive to my sisters, but I also get to be seen and heard.
Yeah. And there is not a rule, but there is this, we don't need each other's feedback. We don't necessarily even need each other's support. Sisterhood is your stage. It's a reminder that you're the main character in this show, that you're the heroine, you're the healer, you're the guide, you have everything you need. And we're your audience and we're your stage. And it is our gift to receive from one another. It really is so empowering. So I know for me, sisterhood has, especially because I have daughters, and I know you have a daughter, it's made me a better parent. Are there ways that you find yourself relating in sisterhood that changes your language or your energy around parenting with your daughter?
Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh. It's funny because my sister, or my daughter, was born of sisterhood. Like, she was created from the sisterhood. You know, those women held space for me to call her in. And now, raising her, she's 2, and she has such a strong personality, and she's so bold and bright. And seeing her, I just realized, like, I don't ever want her to dim her light, you know? And I know how I did that in my own life. And so, you know, sisterhood taught me how to let that shine again. And so, just raising her in the world, sisterhood, has just definitely opened my eyes to the fact that she can be bright, she can shine, and that she's safe in the world. You know, I think for a long time I felt like I had to hide to be safe. And so, I mean, sisterhood makes me a better person, no doubt. You know, every time I'm in some kind of funk and I go to a sisterhood, I come out and I'm like, okay, I have a whole new outlook on things. And so, of course, that's going to make me a better parent, because, you know, like just this morning, her and I were at each other, and then I went to a sisterhood call, and now I'm like, okay, you know, things are all right. And the techniques that I've learned from other women just to help me deal with my stresses or whatever comes up in the world, I want to pass those on to her so that she knows that she has the tools to work through her things, and that she feels safe in the world. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that sisterhood has brought to me, that it's safe to shine.
Yes, it really encourages us to take up space, right? And to be vulnerable and to bring the juice, what you really got. There's always this, yeah, well, go deeper. I want you to go deeper. I want to see more of you, right? Open the kimono, show us what you're working with, and all the range, all of the things. And I notice with my kids, it calms my anxiety because I know that I have this skill set that is in action. It's the holding space. And whether it's a young child with a temper tantrum or a teenager, as I now have, that is, as I say, hashtag mom hater, it is okay. If I can allow my sisters and hold my sisters and the women in sisterhood in such reverence as they do their expressive dance on this wild stage and say that nothing is off limits for celebration, then can I not just sit and also witness and hold in reverence the expression and all the cycles and all the range that my teenage daughter has, and watch her and know she's got this. She's going to figure this out. I trust her. She's going to make good decisions. I am watching her dance. I'm here for her. I'm her net. I've got her. But can I also really just be a good listener?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With my daughter, I have noticed that I can let her have her emotions, where I think as like years ago, before I started practicing these things, I think I probably would have jumped to like, no, just be quiet and stop crying. And, it's not a big deal. But now I'm like, okay, you're really feeling it. And that's okay. Like, feel it fully. And then let's let it go.
Yes.
And
it really is true. And also I started to notice just recently, actually, if I'm being fully transparent, recently started to notice that I would give more attention and concern more focus to their negative emotions than to their positive emotions. So if they're having positive emotions, it's, oh, okay, good. You got this. You're good. I'm going to check out and go do my work. I'm going to check my phone. I'm going to go for a walk. And it's sort of this disconnect that's, oh, everything's fine. Okay, you're good. But when there's, you have a sad face, you look like you have hurt feelings, you're frustrated, then I'm just all on top of them. How can mommy fix it? It's this savior thing, but it's a martyrdom to me, and it's not empowering to them because it's seeing them as victims, and it's teaching them that when they have negative emotions, that's where all the attention goes. But it's not a positive attention. It's not a celebratory attention. It's let's fix this. Let's move this out of here. There's a problem. And with that, problem equals attention. And there's no wonder that we get addicted to problem solving and fixing and trying to rid ourselves of all the things we think are either too much or too little about ourselves. Maybe I'm learning it a little bit later, but hey, it's all part of the unraveling and the witnessing. So you talked a little bit about being in transition, moving from Hawaii back to Colorado, and then also of your daughter being born in sisterhood. In your bio, you talk a little bit also about infertility, and I'm wondering if you're willing to share a little bit about your experience now with infertility and what sort of support is helpful. I know some people almost like a death in the family, or even the race conversation. These are the types of conversations that stop us and we go, I'm not sure I know what to say. I want to support. I don't want to hurt. What is the best support for how you would explain what you're going through with infertility?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it because I realized going through it that we don't talk about it. Like, we're not allowed to talk about miscarriages. We're not allowed to talk about these things that are, like, as women now we're carrying this like heavy burden that we have to carry by ourselves. But no, like, I want to shed that because we don't have to do it alone. So I decided, my husband and we've been married for 11 years now, but we decided to like go to Hawaii, do some fun things, and then figure out family. And so I was like, I'll wait till I'm 30. And then I waited till I'm 30. And then I was like, maybe I'll wait a little longer. I don't know if I'm ready. And then, a little bit later started my journey, and I never thought it would be a problem. And then it was like month after month of like not being pregnant. And I was like, what the heck? Like, everybody in my family just gets pregnant. It's not a thing. And so there was a lot to unpack there of each month, like feeling so disappointed, or like, what am I really supposed to do? Like, focusing so much of my energy on that I realized that I stopped focusing on anything else. And I didn't give light to the other things in my life that were happening, and so sisterhood helped me tremendously because, you were all there for me during that. And it just kept reminding me to be in trust. So just trusting that everything is always working out. Life isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. So like, what is this meant to teach you? And after it was almost a year of trying to get pregnant, I got pregnant. And it was really a strange thing. And I wouldn't have known if I hadn't gone to the doctor for an annual that I was pregnant. And then I ended up having a miscarriage 7 weeks later. And I was at a convention at the time when I had a miscarriage, and I had one of my sisters there with me, thankfully, and a new sister who's now part of my family too. But what was most supportive for me during that time is that they didn't swoop in, like you said, and try and like save me or fix me or anything. They just like held space for me to process and like witness me through it. And, just as women do, like nurture me and, make sure that I had what I needed. And after having a miscarriage, and then I had a healthy pregnancy, and I've got a beautiful baby girl, I've talked to so many women who've had miscarriages, and it blows my mind how much it's happened and how it never was on my radar before. And I think for me personally, when I went through the miscarriage, I handled it, I think, really well. And I think my mindset, because of sisterhood and because I had so much support, that everything is as it's supposed to be, it wasn't catastrophic for me, because I was like, okay, well, this is my body telling me that something's not right. And so number one, thank you, body, for doing what you needed to do, because I want this to be a healthy pregnancy. I want a healthy baby. And so I was really in a lot of gratitude. And I think that's from sisterhood and having all those women around me, supporting me, just letting me be. And so I think for women going through infertility now, I guess I don't know if I know what's most supportive, because what's most supportive for me might be different, but I think having a container for women to just show up is going to be most supportive. And again, like in sisterhood, of not having to respond to somebody just telling you something and you just letting them be. And like our friend Kara says, like not crawling into their hole, like letting them be down there and holding that space. Like, I see the light for you and this is going to be amazing. And so I'm just here in this. And when you're ready to come out, I'm here for you. And so I think if I could give advice to anybody who has a friend going through it, just let them speak. Just let them cry, let them, get mad, let them do whatever it is that they need to do without trying to give advice or fix it or anything like that. Just hold the space.
Yeah, it's so very true. And I, as you were speaking, could imagine a sisterhood call that was filled with 12 or 15 different women going through maybe the exact same set of circumstances and having completely different reactions and feelings and desired outcomes about all of it. And yet each of them would have a space and a stage to say, this is what I'm going through. This is what I want. This is how I feel. And it's all perfect. We're all unique, but the power is within each of us. And there is love and space holding, but not the smothering female, I've got you energy, but so much of the you've got this. And I see you on the other side. I see magnificent gifts and blessings and everything that you're going through. So I'm wondering also about your business endeavors. You are a mom, you are a sister goddess, you have such a gift to give, and you are also a business owner and an entrepreneur. So what are some of the business projects that you have going on, and how are you balancing I've heard recently that balance is a myth. So I'll just say, give us what you've got about any of it, how any of the pieces are coming together or not.
Yeah, balance looks a lot like creative chaos.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
like juggling all of the things. Yeah, so I'm working on some really cool things with my business. So I work with doTERRA essential oils, and my team and I are currently doing a study, which I'm so excited about. So we're studying people with sleep troubles, who are experiencing anxiety, digestive discomfort, and pain. So we just started our first study, kicked it off today. And so it's going to be a week-long study. And thank goodness I have a team of people working with me, because I don't know how I would do it alone, you know? And this is part of my dream of this global sisterhood, is like my team of people that we're all working to help improve people's lives, to give them, you know, the tools to handle everyday stuff or big stuff too. You know, I leaned really heavily on the oils when I went through my miscarriage. But balance with a kiddo, you know, my business is really important to me, because my mission is to help people through everyday things. And I everybody needs it, you know, like everybody needs that support. And I am focused on that. And what I have a hard time with is focusing on that and then my daughter, and like just switching back and forth. And, you know, my schedule looks like I'm a mom till nap time, and then at nap time I work, and then after nap time I'm a mom, and my husband comes home and I get a little work done, and you know, then we're a family, and then I'm working. And so it's a lot of like going back and forth between things. And it's a struggle. I mean, it's not every day is it pretty, but I believe so strongly that I have tools that can help people. And so I can't hold that back. You know, I don't want to be selfish with what I have to give to the world. And so it's really important to me that I show up to do my work, and to empower women to take care of themselves, to take care of their families, and not in a way like, you know, you have to do all the right things and you have to be the best mom and all of that, but just like the tools to deal with everyday things that are not making us our best selves. So myself as a parent, I don't pressure myself to be a certain mom or type of mom or anything like that. The most pressure that I put on myself is to be the best person that I can be, because she sees that and she's going to do what I do. And she's so smart. She picks up everything. So my work is to really just work on me. And in turn, that's going to feed and nourish my daughter. And same with my team, you know, they're not going to follow me if I'm not being a leader who's being true to herself and, you know, actually raising the vibration and doing good in the world. And so I kind of got off track. I'm not sure what your question was.
It's all great. That's it.
Yeah.
If people are crazy smart, kids are crazy smart. And I remember specifically when I was crafting an offer, I forget which program or course it was, but I was crafting an offer and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I smell bullshit, you know? And I thought, I'm not going to do anybody any favors if I don't acknowledge the fact that people can smell bullshit a mile away, whether it's people that you are, that are potential clients or people you want to work with, whether it is a new friend or someone you're dating or even your kids. So to be as real and as honest, knowing that we're transparent, whether we like it or not, most times, but then also that's okay. And that's a good thing that we're transparent, but we want to be aligned for ourselves with the best version of ourselves, so that what we're putting out is not only that it's honest and that it's in integrity and setting a good example, but that it's the truth, that we are not clouded by, it's what I call the when the lie of unworthiness has taken over, we're snapping at our kids, or for me, I'm thinking that there are, someone has stopped by unexpectedly and my house is a mess and I might have a panic attack over something like that. Whereas if I've had a moment to take a break, obviously engaging in a sisterhood call is magic, but switching channels within myself, essential oils are also really helpful. Aromatherapy, all of that is really transformative, to where I might walk right back into the same disaster of a kitchen and go, meh, who cares? It's all good. Everyone's kitchen's a mess. This is no big deal. And the mindset switch, the perception, it brings me right back to what you said in the beginning about freedom. It's that, how can I set myself free? How can I just be who I most truly am for myself? And because it's the truth. So I appreciate that so much. Now, where can people find you if they want to get to know a little bit more about you, your business, if they're thinking, shit, I want to be part of this global sisterhood, or maybe they even, you want to learn more about infertility or miscarriage, sisterhood, anything that we've talked about, where can people find you?
That's so funny. I wish I knew. So I'm really terrible at anything techie. And so I don't have a website. I don't have, I mean, I suppose you could just reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way. I mean, I would really love to have like this really beautiful like landing page and like,
Yeah.
a space to point people to. And honestly, I just don't. And so, just Facebook or Instagram or,
that's why these things have been created for us. And they're such a gift, because you don't have a beautiful landing page because you're probably reading stories to your daughter in the evening, right? We make very conscious choices, and everything to me that is dating without nipples, it's like doing business without a website, right? It's like, watch me do. I'm going to do it anyway. Whoever says right, we're doing it. You're available. You are on the internet. If people can reach out to me to get to you. And so
I'm here.
Yeah, breaking down all the barriers of this is how it has to be to get from point A to point B. We are already enough. We are here. We're in our gift. We're being our best selves. So Amalia, thank you so much for being here. I do want to ask one more question, because you've been so generous, especially with your story. And I think it's really going to be powerful for a lot of women, even to hear someone else say, miscarriage, infertility, and let's talk about it, right? That is really huge. And so thank you for that generosity. Is there something that I could send you, some energy, some word or intention that the audience and I can send to you? And will you please be a fantastic example of being a leader by receiving for us?
Yes. So thankfully to Sisterhood, and specifically my Raid, our sister,
Yes,
for teaching me how to receive, because that was a hard one for a long time. I would like to just be seen. I would like to be seen by you and whoever listens to this, and just not seen physically, but seen my heart.
Yeah. We see you, we feel you. It is our honor, our privilege, and a gift. Thank you for showing up to this so that you could create a channel for us to do so. Thanks for getting on that stage and showing us everything you have to offer. You're such a blessing. Thank you for being here. And until next time, everybody, do your business without your nipples. Do your dating without your website. Have a beautiful day. Until next time. Thanks, everyone.